is Dr. Paget, and I'm the instructor for RTL 4330, which is a fully online course through Blackboard. So for that course, we will actually never meet face-to-face, but we will have online discussions and participation meetings where we communicate through Microsoft Link, where we can actually see each other and speak and look at each other's desktops. And I'll be able to help you with anything that you need through that. Also, through Microsoft Link, we'll have virtual office hours where I can help you. And those will be either Tuesday, Wednesdays, or Thursdays throughout the week. And each week what I'll do is at the beginning of the week, on Monday, I'll announce in the announcements when office hours will be and what times they'll be at. So they kind of vary per week when we have office hours. And then one thing you'll want to do now is you'll want to go over to your menu bar over in Blackboard, and you'll want to look at your course schedule. Each assignment does not list when the due dates are, so you'll need to print that course schedule and have that with you, because that's what you'll need to know what's going on and when things are due. And there's a lot of different writing intensive assignments that you'll do. So there's going to be some things that you can't just do last minute. So you're going to want to keep up with that course schedule and know what's going on. Another thing you may want to print also is the syllabus. And the syllabus just goes through and gives you a more in-depth understanding of what the course is about and what will be required in the course. And this introduction presentation is pretty much going through the syllabus and just kind of giving you the big pieces of the course. So if you want right now, you can pause this video and go print the syllabus and have it handy to kind of look through while I'm speaking. And then if you want to add anything to the syllabus, you could write on there and add any comments you have that I've made. This is the textbook that we'll be using in the course. And the name of the textbook is Research Methods for the Fashion Industry. And it's really a great book because it actually looks at the fashion side of research in the retail industry. So it's going to relate to your major and what you're wanting to do in the future. And you're going to get to pick your own project. And you can pick something within a company that is similar to a company that you want to work for. So then your research can be relatable and usable on interviews. And if you're going to grad school, besides getting the book, you'll also want to probably get the APA manual. And this is because we'll do all of our citations in APA, and you want to get the 6th edition. If you're not planning to go to grad school, in Blackboard, I have one of the tabs, if you look over on the course menu, is APA Help. And so I have listed some different places to go to get help. The best one that you can use will be OWL, and I have that one listed, and it just gives you anything pretty much you'll need to know for the course about how to cite things, how to reference things, how to do your reference page. It'll help you with all of that. Now we're going to look at the nature of the course. And this is the capstone class for the retail management program. And this environment will be different from most of your courses. One, because it's going to be online, but two, because you will have to do all your work on your own, and you're going to come up with your own research project, like I just mentioned. And it is a writing intensive course. So it's going to be more laid back about when you get things done, but you still need to get all your assignments done on time, and we're going to move very quickly like a work environment. So you want to be on top of things, and I will be available during office hours and anytime during the week to try to meet with you and help you out through the process. We'll also do some different participation meetings that will also be a great time where I can help you with assignments before you have them. And this class is totally online through Blackboard, and we will move very quickly through assignments. And you're going to need a computer with access to the internet to access this course through Blackboard. And you may have issues watching lectures if you have a Mac. You want to make sure that you use Microsoft Silverlight on your computer to view the MediaSite presentations. Then you'll also want to make sure for your web browser that you're using either Internet Explorer or Firefox, because those are the only two that really work well with the presentations. And also, you'll need to download Microsoft Lync for our virtual office hours. And you'll also need to set up a Qualtrics account, which is what we'll be using for our surveys. And all of our course information will be found on blackboard.ttu.edu. And all exams and assignments and discussions will be done through Blackboard. Looking at our communication plan, as I mentioned before, all communication will be done through Blackboard. So through that, you can either use personal mail. So that'll be your email account through Blackboard that you can use. And we want to use that email account and not your TTU account. Also, we'll have virtual office hours where we can communicate. There's also, with each unit, there's a question and answer forum. And that's where you can ask questions about any research part or any question you have about that unit. And I can answer those questions, or if you have a question, you can also look to see if anyone has asked a question in the forum. And if they have, then you can see if they've answered your question for you. Or if someone knows the answer to the question, they could also answer their fellow student back and give them an answer. And then also there'll be announcements, and I'll use announcements a bunch because I'll announce each week office hours, and then I usually try to announce right before an assignment is due or when your exam's coming up, or if everyone's done an assignment and everyone had like a specific issue that they needed to work on, I'll kind of give an announcement explaining here's some things to work on and give you help with that. And so another thing about when you ask questions in personal mail in the question and answer forum, I will answer those questions Monday through Friday within 24 to 36 hours after the question has been submitted. So I can't promise that I may answer questions on the weekend. But a lot of times I do try to check it on the weekend, but there's no promises. So I will promise Monday through Friday I'll answer your question within 24 to 36 hours of you sending me a question. Also, if you have a personal or detailed question, you need to ask that through either virtual office hours or personal email, and not on the question and answer forums, because those are ones where everyone can see what question you ask. And also, you can communicate with your classmates either through the question and answer forum, or also if you want to talk to someone specifically, you can use the personal mail function on Blackboard to communicate with them too if you would like. Looking at the course objectives for this course, really the main point of this course is just learning the research process. So it's not about statistics, but it's just learning what is the basics of research and how do you do research and why is research important and how you will actually use research when you graduate and work in the retailing industry. So that's the big things we want you to come out from this course, and just learning how to look at a research article and pick out the information from it and learn what it's actually talking about and understand different types of research studies, just because that's something you may deal with one day when you graduate. For example, I used to work in product development for JCPenney, and we used to do focus groups all the time. And we would always get all the data back from the focus group for us to kind of go through and learn from. And after taking this course, you'll understand how to read data and understand results. And that will be a very helpful skill to have when you graduate. So I've kind of talked about your these units. And within these units, there will be an introduction. I'll give you objectives. Then you'll want to look at the required readings that you're going to need to do for that unit. Also, I'll give you lecture presentations on the different units. And certain units will also have participation units. And you do have a participation grade, which will be 5% of your grade. And all the participation units you're going to do a participation unit before you have a big assignment due, and that unit is a time when you come together with other students and meet with me online, and we discuss what you're going to do for that assignment, and then you can ask any questions you have about that assignment. And then also within each unit, there'll be the question and answer discussion forums that I mentioned. And then you'll post your assignments within, or your research parts within each of the units. And as I mentioned before, you're also going to want to refer back to the schedule that's in the menu bar for all the due dates for the research parts, because they are not listed in the units. And each of the units will teach you about a different part of the research process, and it'll be a different part of your research paper. So you'll learn about all the different parts that go into developing a research paper and a research project. And so while we're going along, we'll be developing and actually doing your research throughout this process. And each of the research parts will be completion grades, and you will be allowed to submit these, and they'll actually become parts of your research paper. So it'll be a great way before you actually have to turn in your final paper to turn in pieces of your paper and actually have me review them and make any changes that you need. So when we get to the final paper, you've actually had some feedback about it and have been able to make improvements to help you get a better grade in the end. Here are some different types of research studies that have been done in the past. So we will only be doing quantitative studies in this course. We will not be doing qualitative. So some of these studies we would not be able to do within this course now, the way that it's set up. But these are great ideas of different things that people have done that you could kind of spark some ideas about what you might want to do for your study. So some different things that have been done is someone looked at apparel worn to football games to kind of see, what do people wear? You know, do they wear logoed apparel, or do they wear the colors? What kind of clothes did they actually wear to football games? Also, someone has looked at the apparel worn for job interviews to see, do people dress appropriately for job interviews? Other things that students have looked at is looked at what type of brands. I had a student who looked at footwear brands, what brands were important to people in footwear, specifically running shoes. You can also look at what type of backpacks do people wear, what type of cosmetics do they use, what type of handbags do students carry. You can also look at retail pricing. Other things you can look at is fashion influences. So what influences a certain group of people's fashion? So is it magazines? Is it their peers? Is it their family, their friends, blogs? What's actually influencing them in their fashion choices? You could look at sustainability in regards to apparel production, consumption, and packaging. Some other things that have been done is how important are brands to certain generations and which products are important to them. There's a lot of research being done now too on online retailing and what kinds of things. I've had people look at, you know, what products do people like to buy online, what products do they not buy online yet, what are the most important factors about an online site that make you want to go there and buy something. So there's just a lot of different things that you can look at, and a way to really figure out what type of research study you want to do is just look at what other studies have already been done and kind of look what other people have done to kind of come up with something that you might want to learn about. So really it's just coming up with a question about something that you want to know the answer to is how you come up with a research study. So here, a big part of your grade is going to be your research project, and your different research parts are going to build on that research project. And so I thought I would go ahead and just give you some specifics about the research project, and you might want to go ahead and go over, there's also in the menu bar, there's a tab for the research project. Just go ahead and take a look at it and kind of look at what you're going to be required to do at the end of the course, and all the different parts that we're going to be played in it, because those are all the different things that we're going to learn throughout the semester. And your paper and all your citations that you'll do throughout this course will be in APA style. That's why I talked about the AP manual. And you will need at least 5 peer-reviewed articles in your paper, and we will do an assignment, a library assignment, where you'll learn how to be able to tell if an article is peer-reviewed and where to find those types of articles. And as I mentioned, we'll do a quantitative study, and we're going to use Qualtrics, which is a program that helps you develop a survey online, and then it gives you a link that you can distribute online to other people, or you can also print it and do it manually handing out surveys too. So for your research and question topic, it's going to be chosen from some key terms given. So you'll have an assignment where you're going to actually choose your research topic, and I do kind of give you guidelines to stay within. So you're going to use a certain generation, which is Generation Y, which is college students, the generation that you're in. And then I'll have some other requirements of what you can actually do. And your research topic will be approved by me. And the basics of me approving your topic is just making sure it's a viable topic that you're going to be able to do, that's not too time consuming, and that makes sense. Your sample size for your study will need to be at least 30 fully completed surveys. And the fully completed means that they have to actually answer every single question. So we had that last semester. People have some problems with people not finishing their survey completely, and then that person has to be kicked out of the survey if they didn't answer it completely. And so that's a really important thing. You know, you may, because I even had some people that had like 45 surveys, but they ended up only having like 32 total because so many people had not completed their survey completely. So that's one thing to think about when you're doing your surveys, making sure that people complete it all the way. And then also, we'll have everyone take your survey before you send it out, and getting feedback from everyone on that from your classmates to see if there's any questions that are confusing, because if you tend to have a confusing question, then someone will just skip that question and not answer it. Also, plagiarism in this course will result in a grade of 0. And that's why we'll be using the Turnitin software. And what you'll do is you'll turn in your lit review and then your final paper to turn it in. And it checks to see if what you've written, they have a system where they go through and look to see if what you've written is the same as something that someone else has written. So the only way that would happen is if you copied someone else's paper. Also in Qualtrics, you'll need to make me a co-researcher. But once we get to Qualtrics, I'll explain how to do that and what's all involved with that. And another important thing on your paper is it'll need to be written in active voice and not passive. And if you look at the, I think it's under the APA help, I have a thing about active voice versus passive voice. And your paper will need to be between 18 and 15 pages. And then beside your paper, you're also going to do a PowerPoint presentation, and you're going to have a specific template that I will give you to put your PowerPoint in, and then you'll do a presentation of your paper and record that and then post it as a YouTube video within the discussion board for everyone to see. And here is the different sections to your research paper. You'll have a title page, an abstract, an introduction that'll include your review of literature and your research questions or hypothesis. You'll have a methods section that'll talk about your sample, your instrument, your procedure and data analysis. You'll have a results section, and then you'll have a discussion section with conclusions, recommendations, and implications. And then at the very end, you'll have your references. And then throughout your results, you will probably have some tables or figures there, but you probably will not have any appendices or tables at the end. I'll show you how to set up your Qualtrics account. So first thing that you're going to want to do is to go to the TTU website, and then you want to go to the College of Human Sciences. So once you're to the College of Human Sciences, you'll go over to Faculty and Staff, and then you'll come down to Qualtrics and click on that. And here is where you want to click here to create an account. So you're going to use your TTU email, and that's going to be your username. And then you're going to come up with a password. You need to make sure you write it down and remember it. And it doesn't have to be your TTU password. And then you'll click Get Started. Okay, this is what it should look like once you get into your account. And this is where you would go to create your survey. And once you've created your survey, a very important thing you need to do is you're going to come over here to where it says Collaborate. And you're going to click on that. And then you're going to want to type in my email. And then I should show up, which since this is my account, it won't. So I'll do Dr. Fowler. So her name shows up. Then I want to click Add. And then you want to click all of these boxes where I can view results, I can edit it, and I can copy it and distribute it. You want to click all those boxes, and then you want to click Save. And once you click Save, I'll be able to access and look at your survey. What it'll actually look like is then your survey will show up in my Qualtrics. And if you've made me a full collaborator, I'll be able to look at your results. I can help you edit it, help you with all the different steps of the process. So for now, you won't be creating your survey, so you won't have to worry about the collaborating part. I just wanted to show you how to do that and how to set up your account so you would have it ready. And that concludes your introduction lesson. So I would go ahead and do the rest of the introduction, and then you can start getting started on Unit 1. So good luck, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.